Let you do the recording.
I gotta hold it the whole time?
Yeah, you can move it around if you want.
Okay, guys. Today we went to the Louisville Slugger Museum. Probably one of the biggest ones in the world. I don't know if it is the main one. They probably got sluggers all over the world, but that one was real nice. And they make a bat for every single team. Matt's sitting there playing this game.
There we go.
And I forgot how many millions of bats the guy said they've already made this year. It's just incredible. It's a lot like the Dunkin' Donut thing when you go to that factory in Louisville, how they make them. They make the bats the same way. You just run them in and out and in and out constantly. It's come a long way from how they used to. They used to have to do it by hand, and they've been making them since the 1890s. And
from the first stirrings of life beneath water,
give a shout for the guy that done our tour. He was really good. And guys, we'll get better at these videos. We're just talking right now. Like, whoever wants to view them's fine. If you like it, that's fine. It's great. If you don't like it, that's fine too. It won't hurt my feelings none. Just got to get my buddy Matt more comfortable with the camera. But we're just showing people that we get out. Had pictures of all the Hall of Famers: Hank Aaron, Ken Griffey Jr., Tony Gwynn, Babe Ruth, DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig. Yogi Berra, Joe DiMaggio, and many more. And
Do a close up. Go up to the TV.
oh,
And just keep talking if you want. Civilization 6.
this game's called Civilization 6. You can choose any side, like Roman Empire, America. I'm not as much on games as I am movies. So, Matt, while you're playing that game, people's heard me talking enough. Just tell them what we did today.
You're good. Keep going. We watched the manufacturing of baseball bats, and they talked about the different quality from retail and of course the MLB and the different prices and everything. They also had a different color texture with painting the bats versus the retail that they just dipped into it. They had a baseball player play with one of the bats. It was a pink one, and they sold it online. For how much was it, Garrett?
It was way in the thousands.
Or was it they made what, $1 million sale?
It's like $1 million sale per bat. They're very, very good quality. So tell them about this game you're playing, Matt.
Like the previous entries, you're actually trying to expand an empire. You're also trying to world domination. You're also trying to spread religion. You can choose to be Christian if you want in the game, Garrett. And there's also the space race, technological advancements. The list goes on.
So who's your favorite ball team, Matt?
Padres. Of course, the favorite player I adored as a child is dead.
That would be Tony Gwynn. God love him. He was a dang good player. He may not have got a home run every time, but that's one man that was dedicated to the team. All these other guys have been traded 5-6 times, but there's nothing wrong with that. He stayed faithful to that team for over 20 years, his whole career. And he'd hit the ball every time it batted. It may not have been a good hit. Even if he got a bunt or just a base hit, he hit it every time. Even a foul ball, it was always a hit. It may not have always been pretty. But that's one guy that hit the ball just about every time.
Didn't he have an impressive running batting average?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what it was, but it ran up there.
What's your favorite player, Garrett?
Man, I got many. Old Hank Aaron. Of course, I'm not old enough to remember him, but from what I know and heard and what I've seen of old footage, he was one of the best players ever. I would say Babe Ruth is one of the best. You can see old clips from Babe Ruth from the 30s.
Wasn't he quite a ladies' man? A womanizer?
I'm sure. Babe Ruth or...
What about Ted Williams?
Ted Williams, that's my man. He's one of my favorites. He went off to World War II, but there in the 40s, he was actually a pilot. He'll go down as he was about 83 when he passed. He'd be pushing 100 now. There ain't many of them guys left. World War II was so bad and so popular that even the Yankees went to go fight the Nazis, and when they win, it said, watch out. They said, watch out, Mr. Hitler, the Yankees are coming. Most of your Yankees and Red Sox went and fought in Nazi Germany. Joe DiMaggio, another one, who was also married to our famous Norma Jean Baker, known as a.k.a. Marilyn Monroe. That was her alter ego. Her real name, her given name is Norma Jean Baker. Marilyn Monroe was her other side. That was her famous name. She was known for two personalities, a very beautiful woman.
Did you know that Vicky Vale from Batman was very much influenced by Norma Jean Baker?
She really
Bob
was.
Kane met her, what I heard in person. So
I remember hearing that. So what's your favorite movie, Matt? Me, I've got many. These are thousands reviews for thousands of days. Or do you like me? You got your preferences, but it also matters on your mood too.
Exactly.
What do you feel about Terminator?
There's been other shows like Terminator in the past, but they never
made it quite as big as that one.
Quite as impacting, yeah. You know, people don't realize the influence. I do like Star Wars, but I mean, Lucas got his influence by two serial series at the time, Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon, I think it was. Did you know they made a Flash Gordon in the 70s as well?
Yep, they sure did.
And guess what rock band sung that's the theme song for that movie?
I'm not sure.
I'll give you a hint. It's the same rock band that actually said "Mud on Your Face," a big disgrace.
Queen.
Yes. They did the theme song for Flash Gordon,
which also sung Mississippi Queen. And we're not professionals at this, guys. I mean, we do this just to do it, but
there's people that have better editing tools.
We don't have the proper editing tools, but we can talk about 80s movies till the end of the century.
I think Garrett was born in 90.
Yep. I always tell about I was a lost soul trapped in the 80s. I guess I got exposed to it somehow. Unless you want to get technical and say 90, it's still pretty much the late 80s because the 90s didn't really change until about 95. But Terminator, what a classic. Most people would say T2. I totally get it. T2 is phenomenal. It's a well-done steak. It's a movie trapped on an island, the beach. It's everything. I just like the first one a little bit better. But 2 is awesome.
Garrett doesn't realize how far Star Trek was for the 60s.
I will say because look at the shows they had in the 60s. We'll start with the 60s and talk about TV shows.
I mean, look at Star Trek.
Talk about the 60s.
The way ahead of its time. You had the Cold War going on, and guess what they had on the USS Enterprise? They had a Russian named Chekhov. And America still haven't got over World War II. And guess what they had? They had a Japanese helmsman named Sulu. Then we go on to a black woman. And you know what kind of roles they got back in the 60s, don't you?
The civil rights movies, especially in the South. If you watch the movie The Help, it was even like that in the 70s. We'll get to that later. They were what? Indentured servants or slaves in the movies. And guess what? Guess what Gene Roddenberry did? It made her into a communication officer. It's kind of hypocritical, isn't it? She's a woman communication officer. And then the list goes on. Hey, Matt, we should do one of your Tales from the Dark Sides later and talk about it. Do you want to?
Good. Sign off, Garrett.
This is good.
I know, but...